What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we are going to do our last stand with Captain America. As you all know, right now we can unequip our CTPs for a discount price of 50% off, and I really want to do this. I was actually going to make a video about all these characters that I have for my favorites to give you guys my insight on whether or not I should unequip their CTPs of energy, CTPs of rage, and what have you. But I thought we'd do something different instead and do a clear with Captain America against Knull, since I am going to be unequipping his CTP of rage. And the reason being is I don't use Captain America for anything. The only thing I really ever use him for is to help do one-shots against the regular world bosses. And now that we're just facing Knull all the freaking time, the one-shots aren't no good, but it doesn't mean that Captain America can't get it done. I've actually already seen a video by Moonbro, shout out to Moonbro, of Captain America doing stage 1 against Knull with a proc. That's right, just a regular obelisk with a 200% damage proc. That's freaking amazing. I mean, this guy can definitely get it done. But he's not the most optimal character for it. There's just a lot better characters for Knull, to be perfectly honest, and he just makes a great support. But in this video, we're going to be using the in-game uniform. I didn't want to use his villain uniform. I didn't want to use the Hydra Supreme. We want to end the Rage era of Captain America with the in-game uniform, because we're going to be signing off with him. Just like what he did in an in-game, where he just left at the very end, grew old, and lived happily ever after. Pretty much going to do the same thing with him now, unless he ever gets another uniform in the future, which is very possible. I mean, Netmarble does have a trend of giving Captain America uniforms. As you can all see, it's pretty ridiculous. But I was really pleasantly surprised with how well he could do against Knull. He actually did a lot better than I thought he would do once you figure out how to play him. And I'll explain exactly what I'm doing. But first, let's go over the build. He has 38,700 physical attack. I do have 55% physical attack on my cards. And I have more or less max attack speed, close enough. We have max critical rate, 185 critical damage. And this ignore defense is at 44%, but this is going to get maxed out from his 5th skill. So we'll have the max ignore defense. And we got max skill cooldown, and we have 64% dodge. Now, because we have a rage, we're not getting the optimal output out of the rage, because if the dodge was maxed out, and the crit rate, of course, then we'd be doing more damage. So because this is at 64%, we're going to be doing less damage. And as far as my Urus, they're all amplified slots, but they're just, I got one mythic Uru here, but the rest of them are just 5-star Urus. So not overly built at all. I mean, honestly, if you have some Odin's Blessings, you might even need Odin's Blessings, depending on how much physical attack you have on your account, to actually do a clear with a regular obelisk. And as far as skills, of course, they're all level 6. And something to keep in mind when you're playing with Captain America in the in-game uniform is his 5th skill does give him the 10% ignore defense that lasts for 10 seconds. So you only need 40% ignore defense to max out his ignore defense. And then he gets the all attack buff, which is very important, by 25%. The 4th skill does have all defense down, which isn't applicable to Knull. But this invincibility is very, very important, especially when you're trying to do your tier 3. The tier 3 only has immunity to all damage. It doesn't have any super armor. So the best thing to do is, before you hit your tier 3, hit your 4th skill to get up your invincibility. That way you'll have native super armor, and your skill is not going to get interrupted. This is very important for this tier 3 because it has a damage accumulation based on how much damage you take. You need to take damage to do damage. You guys will see in the run exactly what I'm doing, but I always hit that 4th skill before I hit the tier 3. Matter of fact, I'll hit that 4 just to get the invincibility up and cancel right into the tier 3, try to take in some damage, and then let the tier 3 loose. Then I'll hit the 5th skill again, then hit the 4, and he does actually insane damage. I was freaking amazed by the amount of damage he does. And we all know how much of a tank Captain America is. He has the 3 seconds of immunity here. He has the the 6 seconds of invincibility on his 4th skill. Or 5 seconds of invincibility, my bad. On his 4th skill. It just gives him a lot of survivability, especially with the immunity only being on a 3.5-second cooldown, and this lasts for 3 seconds. So you're pretty much going to be invincible or have immunity up most of the time. And when you're playing with the Rage, you definitely want to incorporate the third skill. It does a lot of damage. The fourth skill and the third skill really will do the most damage. And obviously the tier 3 will murder. That thing actually does an insane amount of damage. The only thing bad about it is it can get canceled very easily. But if you get a decent run, oh my God, I really was blown away. I'm actually sad that I'm going to be taking off his obelisk. But again, I just don't use Cap. It really sucks. There's just better characters for that rage that I have on him that would be better suited. I do have a fully awakened Power of Angry Hawk set, and I do have the CTP of Rage and a mythic uniform. And the uniform doesn't even have the max stats. We got the max stat from the first stat from Bucky. We don't have the max physical attack from Angel here, so we could get even more damage. HP, no big deal. The dodge, that's just for extra survivability. We don't even have, we could get more dodge if I leveled up Cyclops uniform. And then we got max critical damage. Well, not max, but we have more critical damage from having Bullseye's uniform at Mythic. So it is a decent build, but it's not optimal by any means. And if you all do want to see a video of me going through all these characters and let you know as to whether or not maybe you should get unequip your CTPs or not while we have this discount, please let me know in the comments down below. So let's jump into the action and let's rock and roll. So for the team, we're going to be using Valkyrie for the 50% damage out supervillains and Cyclops for the 35% all attack leadership. I could have used Bucky for the 30% physical attack. Wouldn't have been a whole lot of difference. I'm gaining 5% from having Cyclops in the leadership. And I just start with the 5 and then the 4. Hopefully Proc lands on the 4. Then go into the 3. And then go into the 1, 2, and back into 5, 4. Now look, 5, 4. I canceled the 4 into the tier 3. I'm holding the tier 3, charging it. Took a little damage from the symbiote slash there. 5, 4. And look at this. Look at that damage. Look at that damage. And if that proc lands on the tier 3 and you take a little damage and let it go, it will do insane damage. Really, the most difficult thing is just trying to take damage for the most part. Sometimes you get runs where things just happen at the right time where you take damage during your tier 3 or it doesn't get canceled and you're just able to do lots of damage. And boom. And something that's really nice about Captain America there, you saw we didn't do much damage at all because the proc didn't even trigger, is he has 100% ignore dodge on his tier 3. Now I do have a couple ignore dodge strikers. I have 3 of them up there. And that's really just to help towards the end of the fight when my tier 3 isn't up. You know, when that ignore dodge wears off from the tier 3, I want to have it when I'm going into my skills afterwards. I mean, I was really surprised by Captain America. Again, I really am sad that I'm going to be unequipping the Rage, but I thought this would be a good sign-off video for Captain America fighting Knull. One last fight against the most powerful world boss in the game, a boss that a lot of people think Captain America can't clear. And look at that, guys. You know, we cleared it in 1 minute 30 seconds, the first phase, and that's well on pace to get it done. And to be fair, a lot of characters that we bring in here do use CTPs of Rage. That's just the truth of it. A lot of them do. Now, obviously, some of them don't. But there you saw me hit the 5th skill, get the attack buff, hit the 4, get the invincibility. And look at this. Look at this. Then we're going to go back. And, I mean, it really does surprise the hell out of you. I mean, his all defense down isn't even applying in here. And yet he's still able to do that much damage. I mean, Captain America's raw damage is actually really good. I mean, obviously it's not going to be on the level of Knull and a lot of other characters, but wow. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, when I was practicing with this, I thought, man, Cap's getting it done. Now, I don't want to use his tier 3 yet. There we go. We're going into the next phase. And I want my 5th and 4th skill to be off cooldown. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. We're going to hit our 5. Get the attack buff. Then the 4. Get the invincibility. Hit the tier 3. Right here, we're taking tons of damage. We're going to let it fly. And my proc didn't even show up. Which, toward the end, there you saw lots of damage when that proc triggered. If that proc would have triggered on that tier 3, we would have murdered Knull right there. We would have murdered him. We're going to have to switch my character. And this is a complete solo by Captain America. We are using supports, but also to be fair, we use supports for a lot of characters when we're fighting Knull. He's just a tough bastard. It takes a lot of damage. There are few characters that can do 100% solo with any supports. I'm gonna run up over here. There we go. Let's get him. 5. Invincibility. Tier 3. Take a little damage. Let it go. And look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, he would have done even more damage if Knull wouldn't have went into an iframe. Wow. Switch. We're going to run across. We're going to switch again. There we go. That's a little trick, by the way, in case you're running across the purple. Switch when you're in the middle. That way you're kind of in a... You're kind of like... You're not in an invincibility iframe, but your character isn't fully appeared on the screen, so you're able to move out of the purple. Just a little trick for you. 5-4. We just want to do a little damage to Knull here. Come on, you little bastard. And I just love that, you know, we can use Cap for this. We can. And it's a good thing I didn't hit my tier 3, because if I would have, it probably would have got canceled right there. Okay, 5, and then the 4. Come on, come on, come on. We don't want to use our tier 3. Now, here's where it's really tricky with Cap. You want to have full life, so that's why I have anti-venom for my heals. And what you want to do is you want to hit your 5. And I talked about how invincibility, having super armor here is very important. So hit the 5-4, got our invincibility. And now we're taking damage from these vines. Look at this. We're taking damage from them. So we were able to accumulate damage. And look at this. Yeah. If you wait until Thor does his slash and then you come in afterwards, you're not going to do near as much damage. You really want to do it whenever Knull first brings up those vines, the symbiote vines. That way you can take damage while you're charging with your tier 3. And you want to have your invincibility up as well, so you have the super armor. Because if you just hit the 5 to get your attack buff and then hit your tier 3, you're not going to have super armor. And you will get guard broken. You will lose the skill. You're not going to do any damage. So hitting the 5-4 and then going into your tier 3 is the best way to go, at least from what I've tested. So let me know how you're all feeling about Captain America taking down Knull. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.